Good morning. This is the second day of my 10-day vlogs, and I am in Phoenix, Arizona. And what I wanted to talk about today is trying to be healthy while traveling. It is usually something that I'm dealing with on a regular basis because I'm on the road all the time. And traveling is really stressful, and I can just give you an example. So yesterday I got on a flight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It was delayed. We didn't take off until 9. Then I didn't get in until about 3 in the morning Eastern time. And so by the time I got into my hotel here in Phoenix and just unwound from the flight, it was late. And there are things that, really screw up my routine in that sense. So I wanted to talk a little bit about figuring out how to be healthy during these travels. I've been dealing with this now for many years, and it is really hard. But I think that there are a couple of things that are really helpful in understanding how to be healthy while traveling. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And I feel like it's all about automation, and it's trying to figure out how do you automate as much as possible so that in the sense of travel is so stressful, how do you make sure that you actually don't even have to think about being healthy? So the first thing that I think a little bit about is just when you're traveling, how do you get into the right headspace? So I don't know whether you meditate or whether you take time for yourself, but when I think about what I was doing yesterday and just the concept of working all day, and then after working all day, then getting on a 5.5-hour delayed flight, how do I get into the headspace this morning to make sure that I am not making bad decisions? And sometimes I find that it's really easy to meditate. I use Headspace, or I just use the Insight Timer app. But oftentimes I just wake up, and sometimes I just want to enjoy a cup of coffee in a little bit of silence and maybe read a little bit of the news. So that's one thing that I try to do to just settle myself and calm myself. The second thing is making sure that I have full preparation of understanding where I'm staying. So I always try to stay in places where I can be active. If I'm getting off of a flight and it's a really long flight, I do need to move around. And of course I wasn't going to move around last night, but today I've woken up and you can see I'm getting ready to go out for a workout. And I try to find out if the places where I'm staying has a fitness center. Here in Phoenix it's super hot outside, so there's no way I'm going to be going outside. I just don't like the heat that much. So another thing is understanding what exactly is healthy and what isn't healthy. I think the key to health, the key to a healthy mind in getting centered, but then also sustaining and maintaining that, is actually the nutrition piece. So it's so easy when we go out to different places and we travel, we give ourselves a little bit of a break when we eat. And I'm on the road sometimes 4 or 5 times a week or days a week. And if I were to treat every trip as an opportunity to just give myself a nutritional break, I probably would be as big as a hot air balloon and feeling super unhealthy. So knowing what is right nutritionally and what is not so good for yourself is really important. So opting not to have that extra cocktail or that extra glass of wine, or opting not to have the burger every single day with fries, or opting to have a really healthy salad with good options, and balancing your macros is super important. And I think I might talk a little bit about that in future vlogs, just because I really love that style. In fact, even today, you might see on my Insta stories from this weekend, I had pre-made my breakfasts, and I brought 2 breakfasts with me. And I know that where I'm staying, there's a refrigerator, so they're currently in the refrigerator, and I'm ready to eat my breakfast later. And then finally, the other piece is just give yourself a break. So travel is so stressful, and sometimes I just feel like I can't be so hard on myself. I do want to be really healthy. I want to keep my mind in a really healthy space, but then I also want to make sure that I'm making the best decisions when it comes to food. But I also have a lot of work that I'm dealing with as well, and I have a lot of people that I'm meeting with, and they're just stressors of travel. It is so hard to keep it all together, so sometimes you just have to give yourself a break. So anyway, these are my thoughts for the day. Let me know if there are any things that you do to keep yourself healthy or on track during travel, and I'd love to hear about it below. Thanks.